Young?
Stop playing around, man. Just get up.
I'm not playing around. There's something in the water.
What do you mean there's something in the
I don't
water?
know. There's just something in the water.
Run.
Alien Romulus. I gotta say, I was really hyped up for this one. Alien has always been a really fun franchise, even when it does get a little wacky. And it can get incredibly wacky. I still remember that scene in Covenant where Michael Fassbender plays on his flute with himself.
Watch me. I'll do the fingering. Go on.
Hilarious. Or the Prometheus C-section made for a man.
You guys are the worst team of scientists in the world.
How am I sprinting after having a C-section for a man?
This new entry definitely has a few wacky scenes as well, but overall, I think it was really solid. Aside from one very odd bit that I'll try to explain without spoilers that honestly just feels kind of gross to talk about, and not in the fun way Alien is known for, but in the more unfun Hollywood being weird kind of way. Ugh. Either way, what is this movie even about? Where does it fit on the Alien franchise's timeline? Is it actually scary? Are there predators? Sigourney Weaver? No. This is, for the most part, a very self-contained story nestled in nicely in between Alien 1 and Alien 2. It follows a group of rebellious 20-somethings trapped on a mining colony trying to get to a new world. In order to do so, they discover a derelict space station has appeared in their orbit, so they decide to go on a heist to steal the station's cryopods in order to make the journey to the new planet in their lifetime, only to discover the station was derelict for a reason, with facehuggers and more potentially on board, plus a couple other surprises to nicely tie it into the franchise. I will say that you do not have to be a fan of the Alien franchise specifically to get into this. There is no required viewing prior to this movie per se, but some knowledge explicitly about the first Alien movie and Prometheus and Covenant would definitely help. Otherwise, it just kind of leans into references and lines and stuff from the other movies for fan service. You know how it goes. Otherwise, this film does a great job to bring the audience into this retro futuristic world and follow along just fine. I will say that the film does have some pacing issues with it, seeming to want to race to the Romulus station immediately, but then slow down once they get on board. It takes a long time for any aliens or facehuggers to appear on screen, and when they do, they look great, especially the Xenomorph. The plot does feel a bit railroaded though. There's a couple of scenes that feel tacked on just to force the alien to show up when the characters could have done something different to prevent it arriving, but hey, you can't have an alien film without, the alien, right? You need some kind of alien. Also, it doesn't help that a specific character death is spoiled in the trailers, but whatever, most of these people won't survive anyway, that's the fun of it. I will say that it is weird that some characters were set up to have very clear, very obvious metaphors occur around them and their decisions, combining their past with their fate or future situations, and I think that just isn't used very effectively here. At some points, it's completely dropped for either a different kind of death entirely, or it's given to another character when the metaphor wouldn't make sense. So that's a little weird. I gotta question why that's even in the movie then, but maybe someone changed their mind somewhere along the story writing path, so whatever. And besides, Alien is all about metaphors. The original film has an explicit metaphor all about sexual assault, rape, and forced pregnancies, if that wasn't obvious. This entry does keep that metaphor too, but it also attempts to dive into more varied commentary. It did not fly over my head that the one black character is an android who people explicitly refer to as, quote, not a real person. Plus, most of the story follows him and his actions and growth. Speaking of, this film is just really, really well acted overall. Everyone in it is doing 110% and just having a blast filming this too. It's just strong performances all over. I do want to highlight though David Johnson as the malfunctioning synthetic human Andy. He plays this role perfectly. He's shaky and stuttery and clearly shows more and more emotion as the film goes on, signaling his growth as a character. He is immediately sympathetic and obviously made to be a fan favorite, and he's mine. This is great. I just love the robotic mannerisms he gives Andy and how he handles Andy's various upgrades and personality events as the film progresses. Secondly, I want to highlight Kaylee Spaney as Rain. She's the main girl in this. She's smart, capable, but emotionally flawed, and also brings a stellar performance, especially late in the movie when she really gets to come into her own. Like I said, all characters here are just really, really well fleshed out, and even when they're being dicks or have unlikable moments, the film goes out of its way to call them out and to explain why they're behaving in these situations so that it makes it easier for the audience to sympathize and understand them better, and therefore feel bad when they either inevitably kick the bucket or feel good when they triumph at the end, or not. They're all likable enough aside from maybe one specific person who's kind of a dick the whole time, but like I said, it's explained, so it's a little forgivable. Also, the practical effects in this look fantastic. For the most part. There is one scene with a hallway full of facehuggers where it is so painfully obvious they're static puppets just kind of being moved about, or they have one moving leg or something. It doesn't look that good at all. But everything else looks great, especially the sets. Oh my god, those sets. They look so good. All the details in the background and on the sides. Oh, it's just, they fit the Alien brand perfectly. Unfortunately though, not all effects work. The CGI, when present, does not look great at all. I know the director stated he only used CG when it couldn't be done practically, and I applaud that tenacity, but when the CG is used, it looks bad. There's a scene with CGI gore and acid melting, and it just looks so incredibly fake. Especially when everything prior was practical, it just feels so weird to see that. And there's one use of CGI for a certain character, I dare not spoil, that not only looks bad, but feels like it's also in extremely poor taste. I don't want to spoil it, even though you might be able to guess it from that, but it involves a lot of ethical arguments going around Hollywood right now with likeness rights, and I don't know. Honestly, don't know how I feel about it. I'm kind of not on board, but okay. I feel maybe the uncanny nature of the CGI might have been on purpose to make them feel weird, but it still felt really odd and just off. I think personally I would have preferred a recasting, but I'll spoil it if I keep talking, so moving on. I think this film really comes into its own late in the movie, which is weird to say. For about the first half, the film feels like it's setting up what the audience wants to see, and then it gives what the audience wants to see with a lot of action and a lot of fun, and then it goes fully unique in the climax with some genuinely frightening moments and creature design. No spoilers, but holy hell, that was unnerving. And just, oh no, seeing all that stuff at the ending. Ooh, great way to end the movie from what had been just pretty much just okay up until that point. And I say okay, as in it wasn't really scary. It had tense moments, sure, but nothing overtly scary. Most of it was action orientated or just kind of tense. Characters did obvious plot-related decisions that felt meh. One character says an iconic line that felt out of place. The visuals reference multiple other famous scenes in the franchise, etc., etc. There's even a Prometheus school of running away from things bit that feels intentional. It's only really at the end that the movie feels distinctly like a proper creature feature horror with a metaphor that not only makes sense, but is immediately fear-inducing for everyone involved. Everything before that is good, sure, but it feels a bit too much like fan service. I will say that the director Fede Alvarez is a great director for this. He has some tremendous visuals in here, and he clearly loves the franchise and knows what he's doing with it. So I'd be excited to see him at the front of another Alien movie. This film doesn't have a mid or an end credit scene, but it does leave things open for a potential sequel, so maybe we'll see. Alvarez said he would love to team up with the director of Prey, that straight-to-streaming Predator prequel that was great, and do a new Alien vs. Predator movie, and I am all down for that. I think that would be amazing from these directors. We don't really get a lot of dual director movies ever, and I think that would be a really cool thing to explore, especially with these two franchises. Clearly both know what they're doing, and I think it would be just a really cool project to see. It'd probably be more action than horror, but hell yeah, I still like that. If I were to improve this movie, I feel like I need to adjust the pacing a little bit, make things actually scary, give the characters more metaphorical payoffs just because that bugged me, adjust the alien elephant in the room controversy, and I think that's about it. Honestly, this is an extremely solid Alien franchise movie that is really fun to watch and packs a fantastic surprise at the end that I wish was the entire movie instead. But it's still a fantastic time for anyone who likes xenomorphs and facehuggers and whatnot. Definitely give this a watch. Ultimately, Alien Romulus gets a 7.5 out of 10 from me. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around for another one. I've never really been a big Alien franchise fan. I said I was a fan and I am a fan, but I've never been a gigantic one. Same with Predator, although I have seen all of the Alien movies. I don't know what to say about the upcoming Alien Earth TV show. I heard something saying that the directors were going to pretend that it wasn't canon, and maybe it won't be canon like the AVP franchise, but I don't know. It could be cool. I don't know anything about it, besides it being the first in the Alien timeline. I guess one controversial opinion I do have is that I liked Prometheus overall. I saw it once in theaters, and that's my only interpretation. I haven't seen it since. I thought Alien Covenant was not great and focused way too much on Michael Fassbender's characters, which, again, just a very funny movie that very much wasn't trying to be funny and was trying to show off the technology at the time. But okay, I think Prometheus was the better movie. Alien 1, Alien 2, great. Alien 3, I'm gonna stop talking. I do also want to mention Prey. I reviewed it before. I think it's a great movie. It has its flaws. Still a historical centerpiece. More people should see it. I think it's on Hulu. It's really good, and I would love for these two directors to just meet in the middle and make an AVP movie, but like an updated one. I think that's so cool. That would be awesome. We don't really get any versus movies anymore. I think the last one we got was The Grudge versus The Ring, and that was Japanese only, and I think it did terribly, so I don't know. It could work. Let's do it. Anyway, what do you guys think? Did you see this? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What did you think about that thing I'm mentioning about the elephant in the room controversy? Please no spoilers, or if you do post spoilers, caption it spoilers. And yeah, let me know in the comments below. After that, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, ring that bell so you don't miss a video. And yeah, that's it. Have a great day, and if you're not, have a better one. See ya.
I'm just a ghost in your stereo, the fading memory of a shipwreck in the undertow. You're just a lost soul, and I'm just a ghost.